Man, this is so real. I talk about this in my book, but my parents used to use American like it was a bad word. Um, they would throw it at me like an insult, and oftentimes our differences and points of contention and tension and conflict would just be, they would resort it to it just being a cultural difference. And that's something I write about in my book because I'm often like, at what point do we blame, are we blaming culture for something that is actually unhealthy and not okay? So you don't have to take accountability for it. And at what point is it just a cultural difference, right? I think in my book, I ask, where does trauma end and culture begin? And how do we even learn to differentiate these things? And I think one of the really precise ways this happens for children of immigrants is being called American as if it's a bad word. And I think that because it's isolating, it is othering even in our own families, and it creates this sense of shame of not being enough that so many of us experience. And to that point, I just want to remind people to find sources of community where you can be both and where you can root in your bicultural identity. Because at the end of the day, you are not living a monolithic identity or in a monolithic cultural system. You are actually straddling multiple cultures. And that is such a strength and privilege and superpower. And it can be immensely harmful and immensely hurtful to many of us.